Welcome back to more of the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky SC. We defeated a sewer monster last time, so let's go ahead and report that quest. Still no rank up though. You might notice that I've brought Chloe here. That's because she actually has some unique, pretty interesting dialogue if you bring her to this part of the story. However, I have actually stripped her inventory of quartz and accessories, and I'll get to why I'm doing that later, but for now, we have a lost girl to find, and our first step in finding her is to head to the Adel department store. It doesn't matter what direction you enter the store from, you'll see Ren leaving by whichever opposite direction to the one you entered from. Doesn't actually matter which direction she ends up leaving from though, because the place she goes next is always the same. But after this, I'm going to end up going right back into the department store because there's something in there that I need to find. That end, I might want to buy some ingredients because there's a food item that I definitely want to try and make. So Estelle gives you a hint that she's going to be somewhere in the Eastern Bloc, which kind of narrows it down to the museum and ice cream. And if you go to the ice cream stand, you can obviously tell that she's not there. Firstly though, here we can buy Liberal News Issue 5. And I guess I'll go ahead and read that. Special, Ruin's new mayor decided. Kind of weird that subplot gets resolved when we're not there, but oh well. New mayor, Norman. The Ruin mayoral election is finally over. In both Ruin and Minoria, voters were out bright and early to cast their votes. The voting went smoothly and without a repeat of the earlier incidents. Early voting was also in place for reserve army forces. After polls closed and votes were tallied, the victor was declared as Norman, who secured roughly 60% of the votes. Harbour industry also critical. New Mayor Norman was elected on promises to promote the tourism industry, and after his victory, he reaffirmed those intentions in an interview, but also acknowledged the important role of harbour. For the new mayor, exactly how he responds to the harbour industry may be the touchstone for his ability to run the city. Portos prepared to offer full support. Portos was defeated by a relatively small margin, but has indicated he intends to cooperate with the new mayor. His consideration appears to be repairing the earlier division that arose during the campaigning. His experience with the harbour will be invaluable to the new mayor. Society, signing ceremony, an event to remember. That says singing ceremony, so typo. The signing ceremony for the Non-Aggression Pact is almost upon us. All eyes are on the capital as representatives from every country will be present. Thanks to public interest in the event, the city is expecting an unseasonable level of tourism. Local businesses are screaming for joy at the uptick in traffic. Society, Royal Villa gets a security boost. Yesterday afternoon, Security HQ was established at the Royal Villa, site of the signing ceremony, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Sid of the Royal Army. There, they will screen and monitor affiliated personnel and eliminate any monsters to ensure safety. International, the Crossbell problem. Positioned between the Erebonia Empire and the Calvard Republic is the Crossbell Independent State, a buffer nation that has seen countless conflicts in the past over it being localized, and also between the two larger nations as they've fought over critical septium production sites. Since the last conflict, Crossbell has been recognized as an independent state and a very good series of games, but recent expansions in orbital technology and the ensuing demand for localization and septium might yet reignite tensions. Liberl is in a similar position, but while some may doubt the effectiveness of the pact, as the games are released on the PSP and Vita, consoles that are redundant now, just having the Empire and Republic on board is no small feat. The pact, therefore, is not so much a promise of peace, but a basis for conversation. A conversation that can lead to a lasting peace, and hopefully the Crossbell games getting localized. Society, threat letter to our magazine. A threatening letter was delivered to our editorial branch in the West Block of the capital. The letter demanded that we cease reporting on the Non-Aggression Pact. The Liberal News Service immediately reported it to the Royal Army and the Bracer Guild. Currently, there has been no clear progress on the case, but an investigation is underway. Okay, I bought some ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and cook up 5 mystery paste, because that much healing combined with curing all status ailments is actually pretty useful. So anyway, where Ren went next is actually the History Museum, so let's go ahead and head there. If you go to the museum before going to the department store, you actually do get a little bit more of a hint as to where Ren might be, but for efficiency's sake, I'm only going to the museum now. So here we are back at the History Museum. Well, sorta. We're looking for another visitor who came by. I guess they would. Hopefully Tina doesn't carry her cannon around everywhere. That'd certainly be a way to make her stand out, but probably for the wrong reasons. Okay, good. We might still catch her. We wish. Yeah, Ren's not going to let herself get caught that easily. As she said, she's very good at hide and seek. All we need to do here is go upstairs and then try and go back downstairs. Because if you do, you'll find Ren is just leaving. Huh, is that some rare variety of shiny fish Pokemon? And she's gone. We could have called out to her or something, but, guess we forgot to. I like how the receptionist actually comes out and, talks to us about this. I'm pretty sure no one can really stop her at this point. And yeah, that conversation was heard by the player, but not by the characters, so she has to repeat it for their benefit. You know what this sounds like? This sounds an awful lot like some of the riddles that, we've, had to solve lately. I guess, Tina told Ren all about our adventures with Phantom Thief B, and Ren decided, you know what, that sounds fun, I'm gonna try that. Phantom Thief B is not a good role model. So, where are the colourless fish? This one actually gave me a bit of trouble on my first playthrough because I was thinking of the fountain, which kind of has fish spouts on it, but they're not exactly colourless. Where we actually need to go is the Fisherman's Guild, because if you look here, there are some black and white fish prints on the wall. Those are the colourless fish she was referring to. And there's Mr. Fisher. Now, Mr. Fisher's kind of interesting. There's a bit of localization trivia about this guy. Basically, his title was translated very inconsistently in early versions of FC. They made it more consistent here, basically. Yep, another strange question. The bitter, spicy, delicious store is. I actually feel like there could be a few answers to this because the department store sells most food ingredients in the game, so they obviously have things that are bitter, spicy, and delicious. However, we're looking more for the specific types of food on their menu. So that means we need to head to Barrel Coffee House. Bitter coffee and spicy curry. But before we talk to the shopkeeper here, we want to talk to this guy. Yes, it actually was. And he just gives us his book. Didn't you pay money for that? Anyway, from that we get Gambler Jack 5. And now we need to talk to you. Not buy anything, just talk. Dragon beans are something you can buy in department stores. Yep, this is the place she was referring to. Yet another one of these. This one, in my opinion, this one's pretty obvious. These are noted down in your Bracer notebook. And as I alluded to earlier, there is a way to miss out on getting bonus BP for this, but it's only if you give up and ask Elnan for help, and yeah, I feel like, I don't know, there's not, I guess if you were really rushing and you just wanted to get this over and done with, but even the speedrun just goes to all the places where Ren is, it doesn't even take the cop-out option. So, let's head to the ice cream store. Obviously, ice cream melts if you leave it alone. Unless, you know, you're in sub-zero temperatures or something, but why would you be eating ice cream in sub-zero temperatures? There's actually a unique skit you get for that if you try and cook ice cream in the snowy area in Tales of Vesperia, which is hilarious. And also if you try and cook noodles in the middle of the desert. Though I still think, I know this is unrelated to what's happening on the screen right now, but I still think my favorite Tales series skit is the one that you get for staying at an inn in Tales of Graces while you're being chased by guards. Okay, that one's obvious. So, our final destination is the Grancel landing port. And once again, the adventures of Estelle Bright, ace babysitter. Ace in giant quotation marks. Yeah, I guess she just wants to have fun. The problem... Also, Righteous Lecture Fury is great. But yeah, the problem is that we're kind of busy with work, as in, like, stopping a potential terrorist attack work, so I think that takes precedence, just saying. So this scene right here is the reason why I brought Chloe, and you'll see why very shortly. Hey, it's Maintenance Chief Gustav again. I like the way the engine's modeled there too. And Faye's here too. Like, for how much Faye appears in these games, I'm surprised she doesn't have her own portrait by now. There's actually an unused portrait of Phyllis, the receptionist at the Bracer camp in the prologue. It's obviously unfinished, it's just kind of a rough sketch, but she seems to have been planned to have had a portrait at one point in development. But yeah, 2 of those engines. These are the take our technology and please don't invade us sample engines. Yeah, it does actually go to show just, like, you know, how even though technology is pretty advanced, it still hasn't advanced, you know, as far as it could, because these engines look pretty big by, like, a modern audience's standards, but they're considered small for this universe, so kind of interesting. And Tita's nerding out over the engines. So she just straight up tells him who she is. It's actually the first sign of Chloe taking a bit more of a proactive role in terms of negotiation and politics, now that I think about it. Chloe is definitely taking that speech by Duke Junan to heart. Okay, so that's noted. Remember that you can go there. We've never needed to yet, but it's an option. Well, Tita's the one who's usually behaving herself. It's the other kid that I'm worried about here. You know, I just realized, when Agate was told to take care of Tita, he probably felt a chill down the back of his spine and he didn't know why. All those who have met Tita's parents in the third know what I'm referring to there. I'm really looking forward to showing them they're amazing. And with that, our next destination is the landing port, but at this point, you want to make sure to strip any decent accessories off of all of your party members, including the one you didn't bring here, as well as any rare and valuable quartz. Because after we go through here, we're going to be setting ourselves on a chain of events that will lead to the end of Chapter 3, and Estelle will be alone for a little while. So, anything useful that you want to give Estelle, take it off your other party members now. So, here you actually need to go up this part of the landing port, not the other one. Hey, it's the Linda! Certainly getting a lot of work for an airship that was recently hijacked. Oh. Well, looks like we caught, these two in the middle of something. Mueller and Olivier definitely fits. I think it's a newer TV trope, but I still really like it because it shows up in a lot of media. The trope ham and deadpan duo. It's one that I think can be really hilarious when it's done well. Actually, we're looking for someone else. Who we just found, but not that they know that yet. Yeah, this was mentioned during FC, back when Lieutenant Lawrence, as we knew him then, fought the Capuas in the arena, but the other characters don't know that yet. Oh yeah, a bunch of former Imperial nobles who are going around causing banditry in Liberl would probably reflect very badly on Erebonia at a peace conference, so I can see why they'd want to deal with that issue quickly. So yeah, Estelle didn't know that, but they used to be nobility. And that's why they turned to crime. Yeah, even the early game Team Rocket-esque trio actually have a fairly deep backstory. And Agate turned into Ike. Ike, what do you care? You barely even fought them in FC. Ah, the benefits of being the only person in this conversation who's facing that direction. I feel like Ren's the type to get bored very easily. Well, cookies and tea is certainly better than mystery paste. I suppose it was, and we actually do get bonus BP out of this, so... It helps our bracer rank. Yay, Ren, you avoided the righteous lecture fury. So that's enough fun and games. Yeah, he might end up running into some of those intelligence division goons over there. Or, yeah, Adios forbid, Joshua. So he still doesn't know about that yet. And I wonder how she'd react if she knew who Joshua was with right now. I'm sure she'd react very, very badly. So, right now, we've left the rest of our party. Estelle is alone, we can't access their inventories, and we're not allowed to go back to Grancel. We are locked into going to Gurune Gate. Now, the good news is, when the army said they performed a sweep of monsters on the roads, they really meant it. There are no encounters at all. So, that's actually kind of cool, although on the minor side it means that you can't grind CP or anything like that. The way that I'm talking about it kind of tells you we might actually, yeah. Things aren't going to be that simple, let's just say. So, let's head on over to Gurune Gate, which, if you remember, is the gate that separates the Grancel region and the Roland region, so it's this way. And it's already evening. Well, I've been here enough in FC to know exactly where they're talking about. And everyone here does mention that Estelle is, kind of worked up right now, but let's head up here. If you want to heal, you can do it here at this point. Hang on a minute. I know that shadow, and it's not Joshua's. But meanwhile... Well, we certainly missed something big in Grancel. And yep, it is indeed Kevin. Been a little while since we last saw you. Once again, Kevin finds Estelle when she is in a panic over Joshua. Yeah, this is no time for joking right now. Two? Hang on a second. Two people get called out to the same spot by individual letters, both of them asking to meet someone. Something's very, very wrong with this. Wait a minute, are we talking about the same person here? Also, as hilarious as this option is, this is a bonus PP question, so we have to say what this obviously is. Yep, it's a trap. And we have this music again! So, we have a surprise attack on our hands. And you push Kevin right into Grail Sphere. So, okay, these things right here are Port Seekers. They don't have a lot of HP, but they can heal themselves for a pretty large amount of that. So, you want to take them out very, very quickly. Let's see what I can do here. Thankfully, oh, I have Cyclone Napalm, but yeah, it's generally best to use shorter cast time arts here. Basically, you need these things dead quickly. They can cast Dark Matter too, which is actually kind of scary. Or not, it's actually not that strong. Okay, how much do you have left? 5. Can I? No, I'm not in range of that. You might notice Kevin actually has a new craft here, Sacred Breath. This is going to be very useful shortly, but not right now. Right now, we just want these things to die, and let's see, I think I can finish this thing off with a quick blue impact. They do hit Kevin pretty hard, though. And dead. Yeah, I have actually set up Estelle's Augment more for arts-based combat right now. And I also have Action 2 and Cast 2 on her. She basically took most of the good quartz that Olivier and Chloe had. Okay, so yeah, I think I should... I'll just attack. 1 damage! Because hard mode! Hard mode greatly favors arts. I did give Estelle attack 3 as well, but yeah, another one of these should finish it off. So yeah, you never got to see them use Latira. I think it's like Latira, actually. But yeah, they can heal themselves for a little over half their maximum health. So you want to take them out quickly. Hey, didn't you explode already? Nope, they recovered off screen and flared. Yeah, aren't those robots normally built by that advanced civilization? Who do we know who has super technology? Yeah, I think we know the likely culprits here. However... Yep, we certainly know he's been down there, but Estelle doesn't. Warrant Officer Graves is a pretty cool name. That's not what I should be focusing on right now, though. Unfortunately, the machines are gone, and there doesn't seem to be much evidence of the fight, so, we might be in trouble here. Unless we flash our credentials. Estelle, you should always open with the badge. You should have learned that by now. That's a good line too. Kevin actually has some pretty great lines. Well, I mean, we're kind of investigating something now. We're not really sure what. And, Kevin? How do you know about that? Oh no, it's already happening, isn't it? The tea party has begun. See, problem is, they're already in Grancel. Whatever regiment attacked Colonel Sid must have been a diversion. Yeah, Estelle's very lost here, and it's understandable. Kevin just revealed a whole bunch of stuff that we as players know, but again, this is a case where you have to separate player knowledge from character knowledge, because it's very weird for Kevin to know all of the stuff we know at this point, especially since we've kept it out of the press. Yeah, never lied, just omitted very large parts of the truth. So, I said earlier in this game that Kevin is one of my favourite characters in the entire Sky series. You're kind of slowly starting to realise why. Basically, Kevin is a lot more important than he lets on. But he's not going to explain all that yet. So this is something that a lot of people who played this game kind of get annoyed at Estelle for, because in hindsight, it's kind of obvious that's a trap and that letter is probably fake. Because I don't think Joshua would really be the kind of person to tell Estelle to go to a secluded area to meet him while the society is on the loose. And remember that Joshua is very adamant about Estelle not getting involved in his business right now. So in hindsight, it's pretty clear that this was a forgery, but given Estelle's emotional connection to Joshua, I do feel it's justifiable that she acts this way. And remember that whoever's going about this is a professional. Ouroboros has a lot of resources at its disposal. Forging handwriting is probably easy for them, especially since Joshua used to work for them. Of course, knowing this, is only going to make Estelle more determined. I just realized they actually used that crying portrait that we haven't seen since the end of FC. That's really serious. So right now is the time to calm down and try to trust Kevin. And get amazing lines like this. Have you been hanging out with Olivier? Because the two of you are kind of similar in some respects. You like holding back info on who you really are, and you know, like to flirt with people to throw them off their guard and make yourself come across as less suspicious than you actually are. So, right here, we can thankfully... this is the wrong room. We can thankfully rest and heal. I would recommend doing that right now. And there's really nothing to see on the way back to Grancel, so I'm just going to cut there. So, upon heading back to Grancel, night has fallen. And serious stuff is going down. This is going to greatly limit what we can do here. The reason I recommended healing at the gate is because we don't have access to the hotel at this point. So the only way to heal is via art or items. No, that's understandable. I can see why. Yeah, she wasn't in a good place at the time. I like how we get little moments like this, where characters apologize for being a little bit on edge. Just adds to the realism of the game's writing. And of course, interrupted immediately. Because we're about to find out the situation is even worse than we thought. Well, unfortunately, dramatic irony is we don't actually know just how much trouble the Duke is in right now. You know, when a butler compliments you on being polite. So, let's head back to the guild house. I mean, surely someone here knows what's going on. I mean, there's no... Ah! Right! Told you things were about to get serious, and that the situation was a lot worse than we thought. I mean, how did someone knock that guy out while Agate was around? It's because they knocked out everyone else too. I'm kind of surprised she didn't go to Tita and Chloe first. I suppose she saw the others first. And I think you now know why I stripped everyone's inventory. We're going to be doing the final segment of this chapter without most of our party. Yeah, if you were paying attention, you might have noticed that on the table. That's all. Short and to the point. Oh. Yeah, guess who isn't here? Now it's really personal. Not exactly. You know that's true, but we still probably have to rescue him, as unfortunate as that sentence is. Yeah, Estelle exclamation marked there because she recognizes the voice. So whoever comes here is whichever party member that you did not choose in Chapter 1. So that's a major point of divergence. You'll have agate for this segment if you picked Shara at the beginning. Yeah, those two met up earlier on back at the mine. So they're about to explain that whole thing to Estelle. And hey, I know that overly hyperness. That's a weird thing to say, but yep, it's Annalise. Who knows Kevin as well. So that whole tactic they were teaching us to prepare for during the training is something that actual real-life people do. Of course, this one's a lot more subtle than just straight up smashing the phone. So, whoever did this is definitely a professional. Well, Intelligence Division men, and one woman who is, probably the worst of them all. So, here's one, slight sad thing about this point. We don't get Annalise in our party. I told you that we wouldn't be using her very much after the prologue, so yeah. No Annalise. She's off doing other stuff. And it seems like Sid is fully distracted right now. Yes, be careful, you need those legs.